Hi guys, I'm Critic here, and today we're going to review the next Crash Racing game, and we're going to review Crash Tag Team Racing on the PS2. And today, we're going to review the next Crash Racing game on the PS2, and that's Crash Tag Team Racing. So, Crash Tag Team Racing was the second Crash Racing game on the PS2, actually. And it had mixed reviews with gamers and fans alike, and people even thought the game was unnecessary. When people played it, they thought it was unnecessary, and they thought it was okay, and they thought it was bad and trash, and they just thought it was okay. And while fans thought it was pretty bad and trash, and some at the same time just thought it was okay, and some at the same time thought it was just okay and decent. And so it seems like most people thought the game was decent, really. And some people think this game's actually decent, and I can see why. It seems like most people think this is actually a decent game. It seems like most people think this game's actually decent, and I can see why. And judging from my own experience with this game, I can see why. So now guys, let's play this game. Let's play this game, and let's play and talk about Crash Tag Team Racing. Let's get started and let's see for ourselves. And so now guys, let's play and talk about Crash Tag Team Racing, and let's get started and let's see for ourselves. So that's my problem with the game. That's my issues with the game. That's my problems with the game. That's my issues with the game. And that was my honest thoughts on Crash Tag Team Racing. And that was what I think. And that was what I think about the game, and so on and so forth. And that's my opinions on the game. That's my opinions on the game. And that was my views on Crash Tag Team Racing. That was my views on Crash Tag Team Racing. And that was my opinions of the game. That was my opinions of the game. And that was my views on Crash Tag Team Racing, and so on and so forth. So the game opens up with these two chicken reporters. I mean, it literally opens up with these two chicken commentators who are reporting on this man called Von Clutch, and he's opening up his Von Clutch Motor World, opening his tournament, his motor vehicle world, and it's called Von Clutch's Motor World. And it's like live TV. It's like live, but it's played down. It's played down. It's not taken seriously, but it's just weird watching these chicken commentators, literally these chicken reporters, reporting on what's happening in the events of the game. What's happening in the racing tournament and the racing levels. I mean, the game doesn't focus on them too much, just only in cutscenes, so that's good to know. But it's just a really strange and funny concept. I mean, it's interesting, but I just think it's just too goofy for the game, honestly. So the story of the game is about where there's a racing tournament nearby, and it's being run by Vaughn, a German robot, a man half robot, half human, a German soldier, a man that used to be a soldier, but a German robot called Von Clutch. And he also has help of Willy Wonka. He's a Wonka who looks like a fucking dumbass looking pumpkin, and he's just a horrible fucking looking character and person in general. But and I don't want to know about this guy, but that aside. But Von Clutch, he is running this tournament, and he invites Crash and his friends and Cortex and his team to the racing tournament. So it starts off with our main characters are driving in cars. Crash and his gang and Cortex are driving in cars. Crash and his gang is running away from Cortex and his team, and Cortex and his gang are shooting and fighting Crash. And they're trying to get Crash. And then all of a sudden they both crash at Von Clutch's Motor World, where they're both invited by Von Clutch to a prize possession, and he wants them to work together to restore his heart. So they work together to find and restore his heart, which is a crystal that makes him feel better, I guess. So Crash and his friends and Cortex and his men are invited to this tournament by Von Clutch, and they're interested in it, and they also want the prize. And there's this guy called Wumpa Willie. He's literally a pumpkin. Okay, imagine Wumpa fruit, but looks like a to me, he looks like a pumpkin, but he's this horrible, ugly character. He's a dumbass character. He's just there for laughs. He's really just there to play. He's just there for laughs. He's a useless character. I don't know why he exists. God. Oh my god. But that aside. Oh, and he also turns out to be a villain. He also later turns out to be some of a villain, and he's, well, in my view, a joke of a villain that comes up later. A joke of a villain. I think he's just made for laughs, and I don't think he's supposed to be taken seriously. And so Crash and Cortex and all the other characters, all they want is the grand prize for the race, and Crash and Cortex and the other characters, and so they can win the race, and so that's where the tournament begins for the race. Oh, and Von Clutch also wants a new heart. He wants, like, this new heart. But it's funny because, like, you think he's the villain. Well, he deceives the characters, but he has a change of heart, and then you kind of, like... And then he later supports the characters. So, that's what happened in the game. But no, he's just replaced with this, like, dumbass Wumpa Willie character. But thankfully, that doesn't last for that long after easily Cortex takes over. I mean, first of all, got rid of that dumbass villain. So after, it doesn't last for that long, thank God. It doesn't last for that long. It doesn't last for that long, thank God. So after Wumpa Willie is, like, basically killed, thank God. Wumpa Willie. So after that he's replaced by Cortex, and then Cortex takes over. And when Cortex takes over, I'm like, oh, thank God, it's a relief. But it's just laid down. It's played down. It's not taken seriously. But that's kind of about it. So it's nothing It's nothing really special. And that's about it. So now the race starts, and that's where the game begins. And that was the story of the game. That's where the story of the game begins. That's all I gotta say. And that's all for now. And let's get started. So in the finale of the game, there is the twist that Wumpa Willie was the villain, and he wanted to deceive everyone, and he wanted it for himself, and oh fuck, this is just so laughably stupid and bad that even the characters of the game find it weird. And that's saying something. Even they find it to be and that's saying something. Oh my god. So Wumpa Willie reveals he's a villain, and then he tricks our heroes. And then a few minutes later in the game, Wumpa Willie explodes. Like, Cortex and his game zap him. Wumpa Willie explodes, and then Cortex and his gang take over. And they basically zap and kill and blast Wumpa Willie, and he explodes in dust. And they basically zap him and they blast him, killing him in the process. And they basically kill him. Basically killing him, thank God. And then Cortex and his gang take over. God. So Von Clutch has an assistant called Pasadena Possum. Pasadena Possum is like a assistant of Von Clutch. She helps you in the game. She's nice. She gives you advice in the game, and so that's cool. And she's a former race driver. She's a engineer, race driver. Von Clutch's heart and torment is retrieved. So after his heart is retrieved and Von Clutch is happy, he rewards Crash. Pasadena Possum is a engineer. She's a former race car driver. She helps you in the game. She helps you in the game. She rewards you in the game. So that's nice. That's good to know. And Von Clutch, his other reason was so he wants to have a running tournament. He wants to have a functioning race tournament, and he's happy that the race worked and the grand race worked. Von Clutch is happy. Business is open. Von Clutch is happy that the whole tournament is saved. Something like that. So that's what happens. And then you get rewarded, and our heroes get rewarded. And the boss battle was lame. The boss battle was just okay, and it was a terrible lame boss battle. But basically, in a funny scene, he throws the machine gets straight. He throws a chicken at Cortex. Funny line, and Cortex says a funny line I thought it was a little funny how Crash just throws a chicken at Cortex, and he just easily gets defeated and blasts away his machine. I like how he gets easily blasted away and defeated the machine. After he kind of blasts him away and explodes in the machine, it basically kind of explodes in the machine. So after that, our heroes get rewarded, and Crash and his friends get the grand prize, and that's what happens, and that's the end. So I found this to be dumb in a time waster. It's just ridiculous. Cortex and his game take over, and then we get a racing boss fight battle, and then Crash just kind of basically kicks Cortex's ass, and then in this lame and okay boss fight, Crash just kicks his ass, defeats him. In a funny way, he just throws a chicken and blasts him, killing his machine, and then Crash just defeats him. The boss battles, Cortex and his gang take over, and then we get a racing boss fight. Then Crash just basically kicks Cortex's ass, and then this lame and okay boss fight, Crash just kicks Cortex's ass, and then he defeats them, and Crash fights them, and he basically just throws a chicken, blasts them, and just kind of... The boss battle was lame. The boss battle was just okay and terrible, and all he does is throw a chicken at him. Funny, and he, in a funny way, he kind of gets defeated and blown away. This machine, and that was it. Terrible, and it was just hard. So the game just ends where Crash wins the championship, and they legally save the tournament, and the game just ends where Crash gets wins the championship, and also saves the business of the tournament. And it just ends of like a gag of Von Clutch losing his heart, and everybody laughs and blah blah blah. Even the chicken commentators kind of wanted them to get involved, so that was nice. So after, so basically it's a World Championship, and they legally won the business, and they have a nice authorization of the place, a nice championship of that, and it ends where Glom Clutch, his heart's fixed, and laughs where his metal heart falls, and everyone in the funny gag, and then it just ends with Crash just like attempting to race, and it ends there where he just like literally tries to race. So it ends where him like just Crash just racing, getting crazy. He wants Whopper fruit, and it just ends with Crash attempting to race, and it just ends with Crash like starting to drive a car, starting to race, and that's where the game ends. The game is the beginning of the end of Crash games. It's the beginning of the downfall of Crash games, and it's the decline of Crash games, and this is the game where Crash games begin to go downhill from here. The game tries to be a racing shoot 'em up, and the racing is okay, and you do shoot people, and that's cool, as while you race. The game also tries to be a platformer, and it weirdly tries to be a collectathon, and the game oddly tries to be a collectathon, and it's really weird, tries to be a collectathon. It's odd, and go around punching enemies, punching people, and people in the game. It's really weird. You can go around and fight enemies, and he even punches people in the game to get objects, items, you name it. It's really weird. Oh god, it's really weird. My problem with the game is that Crunch tries to be a Mr. T in the game. In later Crash games, they try to make Crunch a Mr. T character. In this game, and this is the start of Crunch as trying to be a Mr. T type character, Mr. T type figure, but slowly to be similar to him in this game. And now in other Crash games, Crunch is now definitely being totally acting like Mr. T in later Crash games. It's just silly. He's like literally acting like Mr. T in later Crash games. It's like, what the hell? And I found this to be a joke and absurd. I mean, this is just where things go silly from here. And I just found it to be sad, honestly. And it's just stupid and dumb. And I found it to be a joke. And it's silly. And things don't get better from here. And they don't get greater from here, actually. And that's my problem with that. It's like, are you just trying to like, I don't know, it's like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? No, it's like, why are you doing it? I don't know, it's like, are they really this? Yeah, they're really going this slow. It's like, are you kidding me? This is sad. This is honestly kind of pathetic. And that's my problem with the game. That's my issue with that, of the game. And that's my honest thoughts on Crash Tag Team Racing. And that's what I think about Crash Tag Team Racing, the game. So guys, that's what I think about this game. That's my thoughts on it. I do recommend it. I think it's okay. Go check it out yourself if you want to. So guys, I'm Critic, and I'm out. And I'll see you guys later, and I'll see you guys around. And that's my thoughts on the game. That's my thoughts. That's what I think about the game. That's my opinions on the game. That's my views on the game. So guys, I do recommend this game if you want, if you're just curious. I recommend this game if you want to. If you're just curious. So go check out this game if you're interested. So go check out this game if you're into it. So go check out this game if you're interested. So go check out this game if you're into it. So go check out this game if you're into it or interested. So go check out this game if you're. So go check out this game if you're into it. So go check out this game if you're interested. So go check out this. So go check out this game if you're interested. So go check out this game if you're interested. And take care and have a good one. And peace out and bye.